mean, look at those numbers. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. She has been really good in the second half of this game.
And a steal for the Aces out of the timeout. Asia lining it up, pull up, and just off the mark as Nneka comes down with the rebound. But the points is what Nneka needs to be relied on. Has not scored since the first half.
And look at the double on Nneka. That is what Vegas has done to take her out of the game in this second half. They have crowded her and forced her to give the ball up.
Skylar was able to draw the foul there.
Decisions on the offensive end. And for Seattle, throughout this year, their best offense has been off of their defense. But when you're playing against a team like Vegas that has started to put the ball in the basket, they've got to execute in the half court. And that is where that chemistry on this team is still developing. But Skylar Diggins-Smith, and the way she's played offensively down the stretch of the regular season, look for number 4 to be called.
Talked about the importance of her setting the tone, even finding her way, her own voice with so many different players that have won. Major voices on this roster. She said, this was Jewel's team. I had to find a way how I can lead and be impactful the second half of the season.
I like this matchup with Gabby Williams and Kelsey Plum. Good defense, better offense.
Chelsea Gray, the leader up top for the Aces. As Skylar, those last free throws, got her first points of the fourth quarter. And if you're having Skylar struggle from the field, you have Jewel Lloyd right now on the bench. And you have Nneka Ogwumike that hasn't scored in the second half. You mentioned by committee, what needs to happen next?
Well, they definitely need to take their time and run through their offense. Allow yourself the ability to set screens, run a little deeper in the shot clock. Don't play panic basketball. When you have a fast break opportunity off your defense, that's great. But if you don't, you got to run through your options and play with some poise and patience on offense.
The cut by Young, going at Gabby Williams, pulls up. I mean, it's the strength for me.
Yeah. Right now, Vegas is just shooting contested shots, hitting them. Those are the buckets that weren't going in early.
The Aces are on a 12-2 run. Seattle desperate for a bucket and couldn't get it there.
Seattle just seems a little rushed and a little tight on offense. You want to take rhythm shots.
Chelsea tapping it up top, finds Hayes on the wing with 5 on the shot clock. Going at Skylar. How does she do it?
Count it. You talk about acquisitions. Number 15 in black, Tiffany Hayes, has 20 points, 8 for 12 from the field.
Still, the struggle from the floor finds the hands of Mercedes Russell, and Alicia Clark said, "Nah, I'll take that."
I just do not love the offense for Seattle right now. Doesn't have rhythm.
They are 0 for 10 from the field. As Chelsea Gray has every fan on their feet. Aces on a 14-2 run. And Chelsea Gray, a part of the show. I mean, extremely awake as their owner, Mark Davis, just walked past the table and said, oh, they flipped the switch.
Yep, he saw it too. And when you look at these numbers, points in the paint, 30 Vegas, 6 Seattle in the second half. That is where this game has really changed, is the Aces have been able to execute inside, and they have forced Seattle to shoot from the outside, taking away their high percentage looks in the lane.
They have not hit a field goal in this final frame as we have a jump ball between Jackie and Mercedes. Seattle 0 for 11 from the field in this fourth quarter. And as we mentioned, why Becky Hammon said they're starting to feel it. The defensive end is where we saw the biggest shift in the second half to bring some fluidity on the offensive end.
Yeah, more disruptive. And especially their plan of taking away Nneka because she is their most dependable offensive option.
Nneka sends it outside to Skylar. Poke from behind. Tiffany Hayes got a piece of it.
No Jewel Lloyd on the floor right now. We know that she missed the last few games of the regular season. Knee injury was the reason. But she is not in the game down the stretch right now. Only 6 points.
Chelsea putting on the moves. The step back. Short on the shot. Jordan Horston able to tap that one to Skylar. What a series we have between the Aces and Seattle. The second time they're seeing each other in the playoffs over the last 3 years. And it's been interesting, too, how it's gone back and forth. The last time that the Aces, or the only 2 times they've lost game ones, have been in 2020 in the finals against Seattle. Seattle went on to win that game, that series, and title. And in 2022 in the semis.
There have been some epic games between these 2 organizations. Tiffany Hayes handling the ball right now. What an X factor she has been for Las Vegas. Timeout. Aces.
So Becky sending the life raft to Tiffany Hayes. The timeout will step away as well. It's probably one of the best games we've seen. Diana Taurasi looking vintage, but Nafisa Collier playing like an MVP.
And how about Natasha? Wow.
My goodness.
Woo. 30 and 10.
Back-to-back game ones as far as seasons where she's had 30 or more points, as Chelsea Gray is asking this sold-out crowd of over 10,000 fans to understand the game one is all but in the bag.
Yeah, Chelsea Gray told us that there were some techniques that were used in trying to help her injury that shifted post-Olympic break. She was wearing something in her shoe. She was able to take it out, and when she did, unleashed. Chelsea 3.0.
Chelsea looks good, looked great tonight, 16 points, 7 assists. A'ja Wilson came alive in the second half with 21, and game one goes to the Las Vegas Aces. So after a slow start for the Aces, you mentioned there was a lot going on with the pregame celebration of A'ja Wilson and the MVP trophy. But a team that understands the adversity that they've gone through in order to get to back-to-back champs. And now saying we understand how we have to come together and close